Hi, friends. And welcome to Talking with Famous People. Yeah, that's working. Okay, good. That one's working. I come to you today with a promise. A promise to you and your families, a promise to humanity. If you chew me, you will get long-lasting freshness with Big Red.
That's guaranteed?
It's guaranteed. Let's say you want to make it last a little longer, say goodbye a little longer, meow a little longer. Well, what you need is, for your breath, you need long-lasting freshness with Big Red. Okay, email Anthrax. I promise that you are the 1 millionth person to think that. I promise you that. And you are the 1 millionth person to be completely full of shit. That's what I guarantee you. Okay, well, then you're joking. And if you have really found a better way of typing people, then go ahead and stop being here and go open your typing channel and start doing your typology stuff and do that for a couple of years and then come back to me and talk to me about it. Okay? Because otherwise, I don't want to hear about it. I've heard too much bullshit from too many people. I'm so fucking sick of it. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, well then, congratulations, Email Anthrax. You're the new typology king. You win. Good job. What do I have to be bitter about, Email Anthrax? You got to be fucking kidding me. You are, again, the millionth person to tell me this, and again, the millionth person to not actually have any reason to think that, because it's like, why you would think you'd be better at it than me, even though I've been doing it for years and have. Because you're not the first person to say this bullshit. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely fucking insane. Everybody comes in here and thinks, hey, I've done a little bit of intuiting. I've done some intuiting. I'm intuitive. Well, fuck off, motherfucker. I mean, your intuition, even if your intuition were 10 times better than mine, I've been intuiting about this for nearly a decade now. And I've had hundreds of people that actually talked to, clients, worked with. So, yeah, I think it's impossible because your intuition is not that good. It just isn't. I've talked to you enough to know that. It would have to be 100 times better than mine. And it's not.
Discovered on Discord?
Probably. It's like everybody wants to come in and try their hand against the fastest gun in the West.
True.
You're not only not the fastest gun in the West, you weren't even close. I've shot you 50 times before you pulled your gun out. I'm so sick of little scrubs coming around here and trying to claim shit they have no business claiming. It's like, you are a fucking scrub. Get out of my fucking face. I do not want to shoot you in the middle of the street here in Western Town. Just because I'm the fastest gun in the West doesn't mean I want to have constant showdowns with people, okay? Yes, I am the fastest gun in the West. Yes, I will absolutely destroy you. But that's not the fucking point. I don't want to constantly be having showdowns with scrubs. It's like, God, real people with real concepts don't come in here and tell me that shit, right? They're busy actually doing thinking. And believe me, all the good thinkers about cognitive functions begin and end with Eric Strauss. So that's it. Well, that's what you decided to do anyway, isn't it, Email Anthrax? That may not have been your intention to come here. You did not intend to come here and fight with me. but that is what you've chosen to do anyway, isn't it? So in this case, your intentions are irrelevant. I don't want to discuss your ideas of how your ideas are better than mine with you at all, because I've wasted way too much time talking to people who have no business making any kind of claims as though they were real thinkers. And I'm not going to waste any more such time.
You have the hand torch when you're done.
Yeah, sure. You have it right now. I'll use the regular torch.
Cool.
My outburst was unreasonable? No. My outburst is totally to be expected. Totally to be expected. After all, you're making insane fucking claims for no good reason that I hear a million times before and it pissed me off a million times before. I used to give everybody credence, assume that everybody had a good reason to be making these things. Turns out, no, they don't. So if you want to come here and tell me I have one specific idea that's actually going to improve what you're talking about, Eric, or how you do things, then share that one specific idea with me. But instead, you come in here and say, you have a better way of typing people. So in other words, you're just completely full of shit. That's not the way ideas work. The way I type people is not a holistic thing, right? It's a whole bunch of different strategies. So if you're saying, I've determined a specific flaw in this one strategy, fine. Or I've determined a specific way to improve this one strategy, fine. Those are claims you could possibly sustain. Those are claims you could possibly sustain, email anthrax. The idea that you found a better way to type people is not a claim any human being can possibly sustain. Because it implies that I have one way of typing people. So you can take your sort of indignation or even a little bit of resentment about my attitude towards this and shove it up your fucking ass. Incorrect, angry INFJ. And you can take your wrongness and shove it up your fucking ass too. Because my point is you can't lead me to water and get me to drink. You just have to have actual water in a glass. You can't just be waving your hands in the air and expect it to mean something. God damn it. I come here. What am I thinking of when I come here? Huh? What am I thinking when I come here? I'm thinking, I want to give your breath long-lasting freshness with Big Red. And what do I get? More bullshit. Oh. I thought that was a possibility. Angry INFJ, by the way. It did cross my mind. He may be talking about the other person. But I thought, just roll with it, Eric. Just go full steam ahead, I don't know where all this energy came from. It's not like I have any speed or anything. I guess I must have. No, Winston's mom. The angry INFJ was correct. At that moment, I was hollering at him. But I was incorrect to holler at him because he was not actually directing that comment towards me. So just to clarify that for everybody. Okay. It is sleepy week, but it's not sleepy morning, obviously. I don't know why. I just have lots of energy right now. I know why somebody came in and pissed me off. That's why. I was just here to talk about Big Red chewing gum. Big Red chewing gum. That is not a controversial topic. If you want long-lasting freshness with your breath, then you need to have Big Red chewing gum. Okay, so again, typing people is not a strategy. It's a whole set of different strategies. So if you said you developed one additional strategy to add to that set, good, great. I'd love to hear about it. If you're saying You figured out a way to type people that I believe could apply to typology to improve things.
Excuse me.
Well, that's not really saying anything. Are you talking about a specific function you're testing for? Are you talking about a specific strategy of question you're asking? Sunrise Speedball. Sunrise Speedball sounds like a hell of a day. I got to tell you, it really does. Sounds like a hell of a day. Well, then use words right, for Christ's sakes. Email Anthrax. I know I'm not normally this harsh with you, but
Seems you picked the right day.
you know, if you mean something other than what you say, then say the thing you actually mean. Johnny O, you're not terribly angry. You're actually rather nice. I'm glad to hear that you're rather nice. The reason it's Sunset Speedball is because it's from Sunset neighborhood in San Francisco. My boy's tattoo shop is where it all got started, Hippie Hill. Oh. Well, I just like the name Sunrise Speedball because, you know, it sounds like a heck of a morning.
Yeah, it really does.
It's like, I've never done a speedball before. I think you have to include, I think a speedball is actually doesn't have any speed in it. I think it's cocaine and heroin. Right? Isn't it cocaine and heroin? So I've never injected any drugs before. But presumably I guess you could maybe smoke a speedball because you can smoke heroin.
Yeah. I think that's probably it.
But I think the speedballs that kill people, like, you know, John Belushi died from speedballs.
Oh, did
right?
he?
Didn't he? I think so.
I didn't know.
I think they shoot it. The people who die from speedballs shoot it, probably. You don't want to shoot a mixture of cocaine and heroin. What? That's not a good idea.
Just that stuff like irks me so to the core.
Which stuff?
Like thinking of it injecting.
Rachel, I am so proud of you for being so modest. And she was wearing the same shirt a little while ago, and she took off her shirt and changed it. And I was thinking to myself, I wonder what she didn't like about that shirt. I like that shirt. It looks nice. And then she changed it, and she put the same shirt back on. And I'm like, what's the difference? Oh, you can't see her nips. That's the only difference.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't change her shirt. She just decided she didn't want her nips to show through the shirt, you know?
Thanks, Faye.
Yeah, I that's nice. It's like, I don't really care if people will see your nips through your shirt like that.
No, I know.
But I value the fact that you have an inherent modesty about it anyway.
Thanks.
If you're not, well, you know, like actual ENTP chicks, like Becky, for example, they tend to be very, like, parts of them falling out all over the place. You know, like they're very not body aware.
Yeah.
And
Jen used to, like, when we were friendly, she used to wear like bare midriff shirts. She was like super thin. She's got thin bones and everything, so like she could wear. But yeah, she would wear like midriff and like low slung jeans. So like even though she was tomboy, she still like.
She forgot that she was showing a lot of flesh, probably.
Totally.
That's what happens with the ENTP chicks is, because it happens with the ENTP dudes too. It's like,
it's true.
Of course, with ENTP dudes, I'm not likely to go around in a halter top and whatever.
Yeah, you know? Right.
But the thing is, you just forget about your body and your clothes. Like, there's lots of times I have to remember you're just wearing underwear, Eric, when you stand up.
Yeah.
Mr. William might decide to flop out randomly, you know?
The Angry INFJ, aka Johnny O, no, but a cup of coffee and a joint sure is that's what the whole Sunset People thing was about, moderation. LL. It doesn't sound like a moderate name.
That's what makes it cool, I guess. If it's genuinely moderate and its intent is you're reclaiming the language. You're reclaiming the words people. I like that.
Gosh.
Yeah, a cup of coffee and joint in the morning is perfect.
Yeah, I just put some coffee on. So
I hear it brewing. Cup of coffee, couple bong rips, and live streaming that leads into having to go poo. That's a complete morning. That's a full morning.
That's a full morning, indeed.
Full morning. Oh, and then after that, it's like this is the plan for today. Okay, pull this bong rip in a little bit. I'm waiting for the fresh coffee. I'm drinking old coffee right now. Sorry. Yesterday coffee, but that's fine. Yesterday coffee is still good. It's just not hot. I don't like iced coffee, right? But I don't mind cold coffee that's like gotten cold. That's fine, but I don't like iced coffee.
So like what do they call that? What do they call that? When something's sitting out, but it's not in the fridge.
Room temperature?
Yeah. You don't mind room temperature.
I don't mind room temperature coffee, but I don't like cold coffee. But yeah, the ideal thing is hot coffee in the morning, obviously. And I think it's an under 40, over 40 thing. People under 40 like to have iced coffee sometimes.
I do.
People over 40 always, it's like the question, hot or cold, is an insane question to ask for coffee. It's like, why are you asking me this ridiculous question? Hot or cold? You want my coffee hot or cold? I want it hot, of course. Like, you want your hot chocolate hot or cold? I want it hot, obviously.
And now they have it that you could get the cold hot chocolate.
Cold hot chocolate? Then that's just cold chocolate. I mean, why even have the hot in the name anymore? Cold hot chocolate. Talk about an oxymoron.
Yeah, there's this place that's like, there's this place in New York City. It's called Serendipity, and they're known for their either frozen or cold hot chocolates. And it's hot chocolate that has been like sitting in a fridge and has like whipped cream and like stuff on it. It comes in like.
You know what the funny thing is? The truth is, cold hot chocolate makes way more sense than cold coffee. To me, I can imagine drinking cold hot chocolate because it's like a milkshake almost.
It is. Right? It is. It's literally like they just take the hot chocolate. So like iced tea, you brew the iced tea and then you put it in the fridge. You make the hot chocolate and then you just like freeze it for a little bit. So it's not thick like a shake, but it has like almost like melted ice cream basically.
Right. Yeah. I bet that's pretty good. Right. But cold coffee, I mean, this is just like, it's cold coffee is you're still waiting for the coffee to brew. So you're drinking yesterday's coffee because you're still waiting for today's coffee to brew.
Yeah.
To me, that's what cold coffee is.
I definitely can sympathize with that. Winston's mom says Serendipity is also a movie. Dylan's Candy Bar on the Upper East Side makes cold hot chocolate at their upstairs bar. I do like the movie Serendipity. It's a cute one. It's like an easy movie to watch. And Dylan's Candy Bar, I heard from a TV show that I was watching that they're known for also having their cups made out of chocolate. So if you order like a coffee, it comes in a chocolate cup so that you can eat it afterwards.
Well, you know what the problem with the chocolate cup is? If you don't want to eat it and you put it in the dishwasher, not only does it not clean the cup, but it gets all the other dishes dirty.
Jeez.
So you got to be careful with your chocolate cups. Don't put them in the dishwasher.
Good advice.
It's good advice. I'm known for giving good advice.
You are known for giving good advice.
Why did she have to do the whole, if we are meant to be together, we will be, but let's make it a 1 in a billion chance? Is that what happens in that movie or something?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So what happens is, the plot line is that these two people meet, and she lives in California and he's in New York, and she writes her name and number in a book, and she's basically like, if we're meant to be together, you know, that book will come back to you and you'll find the number, and you know.
Why did she have to do it that way? Did she explain at some point?
Oh, I think she was like engaged or like.
I'm not going to make that mistake again.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm making a very different mistake this time. Just as big of a mistake, but I'm going to do the right thing and not make the same mistake. Make the opposite mistake.
Yes, that's the plot.
Rachel, can you do the WAP dance?
What is that?
I don't know. It's probably the dance that girl does when she's singing that song.
Oh. I don't even know if I know the dance, to honestly.
Yeah, see,
ISJ.
Yoo-hoo is probably very similar tasting to. Yeah, well, the thing is, I actually think cold hot chocolate is going to taste different than chocolate milk. It's going to taste like hot chocolate instead, but it tastes like it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I want to continue the story I was telling about this very challenging morning and day I have ahead of us planned, because right now we're in the part where we're pulling bong rips, we're about to start drinking some coffee, and we're doing a little live streaming here. Don't worry, Angry INFJ. When it gets to the point when the live stream makes me poop, I go inside, leave Rachel here in charge. You are not part of that. I will inform you about the success or failure of it probably when I return. But no problem, no worries about me taking the camera with. That's way too much of an undertaking.
But he will tell you.
I'll let you know, though. I won't keep you in the dark. Don't worry. So then after I go through the whole live stream process, the bowl pulling, the coffee drinking, the eventual pooping, the returning and saying, well, I guess I'm tired of this now, and then turning it off. Then after that, Rachel and I have an important engagement today with the local weed store. And why?
Yeah.
Because today is Patient Appreciation Day. What does Patient Appreciation Day entail?
Is it nice?
It entails 5 gram eighths all day. So you buy an eighth, you get 5 grams. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it is.
And a couple of other things. When we go, please wear our masks out and about. We have no choice but to wear our masks to go into any business. But we are wise and decent people, so we immediately remove our masks as soon as possible. As soon as we can get away with it. Because, of course, what time has proven is that I'm super right about COVID. Okay, so get some resin at least. Shatter, butter, come on, some kind of concentrate, says KD. You know, I'm not in love with concentrate. I mean, sometimes, you know, it's, first of all, as you may or may not have noticed, Rachel does have a tendency to cough a little bit every once in a while.
Yeah.
She's been known to cough. Concentrate maximizes that phenomenon.
Yes.
Even for me, it's like, if you want to make me cough a lot, then let's, you know, I do periodically get concentrate. And if you get the right concentrate, if you get lucky, basically, and you get a good oil that is not flowery tasting.
Oh, thank you.
You know?
It tastes like honey.
Yeah. Then it can be a good idea. It'll stretch out the.
I have asthma and.
I'm aware the virus is mutated. I'm aware the virus is mutated.
I think my grandma has it.
Rachel's grandma has it. Probably everybody's gonna get it.
Honestly, I woke up this morning and I feel like I'm getting a cold.
Yeah, I might be getting it too. I mean, that's the point, Winston's mom. You're fooling yourself, little buddy. You're fooling yourself. I'm sure if I lock myself in this cage hard enough, I'll be safe. Is the very definition of fooling yourself.
Like me to fill your mug.
I would love that. Thank you. Every single thing that we have done so far to stop COVID has what? Failed to stop COVID. Why is that going to change now? Why should we listen to you? You've been wrong the whole time. I've been proved right about everything so far. Why should we listen to you? You've been persistently wrong the whole time. I mean, you've catastrophized every little detail of COVID development since day one. Why should this catastrophization of thing be any different than all of the previous ones? Because it's mutated? I mean, there were always stupid reasons like that in the first place. I gotta go get another pack of cigarettes from the car. This is the number one thing I'm right about and have been right about and will remain right about regarding COVID. Let it run its course. Stop trying to control what can't be controlled. Every effort we make to control what can't be controlled is doing actual harm. COVID's doing harm too. That's true. So let's not double the harm by trying to fight what we can't fight. No, you didn't agree back then. You might agree now. That's the point. I was right then, and you've changed your opinion, which is good. You weren't right then. And I'm saying this is a comparable instance. Now, to be perfectly honest, I haven't looked too much into this whole new UK mutation thing. I'm just kind of rolling my eyes about it. The vaccine is ready. I mean, people are going to start getting it, very, very soon. My mom's high on the list, I think, to get it,
Yeah, probably.
But, here's the thing that's so sad, right? Is the worst possible scenario for humanity overall is if the vaccine comes out, works, and solves this COVID problem once and for all. Because history is going to paint this for quite some time. It's going to take historians 20 years at least to start telling the true story of it. Because there's so much momentum behind the lies.
Yeah.
There's so much momentum and so many invested people invested in the lies that it'll be positioned as a good thing that we did here. When it's not at all a good thing. It's a fucking horrible, fucking nightmarish disaster. And the only thing we should have done is what I said from the get-go, which is let it run its course. That the thing is, when I'm making the claim that I'm right about that, it's pretty much impossible to dispute. Because you can argue all you want that it's bad or good or whatever. It's not addressing what I'm saying. That the best total course of action we can take is to let it run its course. Thanks, Alex. And as I pointed out before, one of the reasons it's so difficult to deal with my response to COVID is I'm not making any wrong claims. I'm not saying it's a hoax. I'm not saying I'm not saying any of the stupid shit, right? I'm not saying any of the stupid shit that distracts from the fact that the one thing that we can control, what we choose, how we choose to respond to this, is not the thing being thought about or talked about. It's a warm-up to remind us of this. Do you think it's intentionally that, or that we should just sort of silver lining it into that? If Ghost Rider, if you're saying, let's silver lining it into that. I mean, I appreciate your optimism in general. I like that optimistic frame, and that's a good attitude. I can't dispute that that's a good attitude. To say that let's silver lining it into this. Okay, fine. But it's still that's a awfully thin silver lining for an awfully huge dark cloud. What's going to happen to the issue of vaccine mandate? It's not going to happen in the United States, that's for sure. There's zero chance of them issuing a. Oh, Rain, he is so ISTP. He is the king of ISTPs. Levi from Attack on Titan, he is the ultimate king of ISTPs.
Is Levi the one with the gray hair?
No, he's the super Captain Levi, super badass guy who goes and he's black hair.
Okay.
He's Captain Levi. He's so good with he's the main guy other than the main guy.
Oh, he's an Aaron?
Yeah, Aaron is the guy who Captain Levi can't turn into a Titan.
Oh.
He's just he makes the tough calls to who to save that one day on the roof, and he has to choose between that blonde kid who I don't remember.
Oh yeah, the friend of theirs.
Yeah, Aaron's friend, the blonde kid, or the main captain guy.
Yeah.
One thing is we should all receive either $600 or $3,000 from the government in a few days. I hope.
Is that going to happen?
Yeah, I think so. I think it is.
Cool.
I think we are going to get another check. So,
I heard that it was a possibility.
I did actually answer it, Evelyn, in a live stream, but I talked about it in a live stream yesterday because I was thinking about it, and I was sort of talking about it, and referenced your question and everything. It said, Evelyn asked me this question. I want to make a video to talk about blah blah blah. I think it's simply this. No, I'm happy you're here. I want to talk to you about it specifically. So You're the person I've been waiting for, basically. This is the thing. There's agent, object, subject, and there's absolute, instrumental, and then there's which plane it's on. But the thing is, the reason polar is polar is because it's an absolute value that you only experience as an object. This is the best explanation I can come up with. That if it were an instrumental value, but you only experience it as an object, then it wouldn't make really any sense, because somehow absoluteness links in part to agentialness. But I'm not quite sure how that works yet. But anyway, it's like what I'm thinking currently is I'm trying to figure it all out, is that your dominant function, you have it as an absolute value in all perspectives on all possible fields, which is 2. And well, yeah, it's an absolute value, and it sort of sets your value matrix, because your odds are all absolute values. So anyway, but then it goes absolute agent, absolute subject, absolute object for your dominant. Instrumental agent, instrumental subject, instrumental object for your tool. And then is working your way around. Eventually you get to 7. All it has is absolute value as an object. So it's like you can only experience it as though, because there's the three possible ways of experiencing things are being, doing, and having done to you. Passive voice, basically. And that was the missing piece to this whole thing, by the way. It's like I haven't talked about it much, or celebrated it much, or even come to terms with it, or thought about it much, but that really sums up all the components to the thing. And it's just a matter of figuring out, because when there's agent, subject, object, there's absolute, instrumental, there's 4 fields, and then there's the slots. That's the mechanics. But I don't have it exactly all worked out in terms of the specifics. Like, there's probably some symmetry to the whole thing where it's like those things which are absolutely valued as meow can't be concurrently meow if it's on the same axis or something like that, Yeah, I'm pretty absolute today, Winston Small. You and I don't clash very often. When we do, I'm over intellectualizing. I actually am not in this instance, because basically I'm talking about remembering that this particular map needs to be a meta map that includes all strategies of mapping. I'm definitely not. Given that there genuinely are those 3 perspectives, right? Being, doing, and having done to you, agent, subject, object. And given that linguistically we're accustomed to speaking of just subject and object, those are not over intellectualizing. Those are dramatic insights, actually. You need to remember something. Philosophy is the first science when it's done right. And just because there's a shit ton of people out there who do it terribly doesn't mean we shouldn't respect them when it's done right. And that's what's happening here, KD. I'm doing philosophy properly. And most people don't. And a lot of people come in here with a lot of skepticism towards philosophy because so much of it is bullshit. But remember that philosophy is the first science. And when it's done properly, as I do it, it is an incredibly powerful thing. RC says, what it makes you say INFJ and ENTP are the most metaphysical types is because our sensing functions are in such unfortunate places. It is because, actually, the answer to that is no. It's because there are 4 metaphysical functions, which is to say functions that link to communication rather than experience, okay? We can draw a distinction between communication and experience by talking about 2 different kinds of time. No, subject is not being. No, subject is doing. Being a subject in the world means being an actor, right? Who has awareness of their impact on the world, as well as how that impact links back to them. Being an agent is invoking your observational powers, which is to say, it's possible to simply observe, right? I know that's kind of confusing to do it that way, but I do it that way because the agent is the most complete form of the self. The subject is an incomplete form of the self, and the object is an incomplete form of the self. Winston's mom, likewise to you, by the way, of course, no worries. I value you highly, and I'm sorry that I yell at you sometimes. If there's anybody who deserves to not get yelled at, it is Winston's mom.
Let's be real, though.
I just yell at people sometimes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really call that yelling anyway.
It's kind of scolding. A little bit of scold.
So anyway, there are four functions that link to communication. Those 4 functions are NE, NI, TI, and FE. And there are 4 functions that link to experience. And those 4 are TE, FI, SE, and SI. And so the thing is, the ENTP and INFJ are the most metaphysical types because they go metaphysical function, metaphysical function, metaphysical function, physical function. Whereas INTJs, for example, go metaphysical function, physical function, physical function, physical function. So they're one of the most balanced types, whereas INFJs are one of the most imbalanced types. ENTPs and INFJs are on the most imbalanced end of the scale. The other end of the scale, in terms of most imbalanced, are ISFPs and ESTJs. ISTJs. Yeah, ISFPs and ISTJs, because they go physical, ESFPs and ISTJs.
Yeah.
ESFPs and ISTJs. They go physical, then metaphysical. So with ESFPs, it's SE, physical, FI, physical, TE, physical, and then finally NI, metaphysical. With ISTJs, it goes SI, physical, TE, physical, FI, physical, and then finally NE, metaphysical last.
So I've been watching some trashy TV when I fall asleep, before I fall asleep. So I'm starting to not, because it's actually kind of affecting me. Just drama, I guess. So I think the lead girl is a really good example of an ISTJ girl, female. She loves them ESFPs.
Rachel, I want to tell you a really sad story I just read in the chat.
No.
Anton Munter's dad is an ISTJ and his mom is an ESFP. I am so sorry. That must have been a very difficult childhood. Are you yourself an intuitive? It's been very, very difficult. You must have spent your entire childhood thinking, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Are these people, are they listening to me? Is anybody seeing this? That must have been your entire childhood. Like, hello? I'm trying to communicate with you here. Mom, Dad, let's have a little sit down. See, I'm the child and you're the parents. Your words are supposed to provide me wisdom and insight. And my words, you're supposed to check them for accuracy and or truth, you know? This doesn't seem to be occurring here. Can we maybe fix this relationship a little bit? You guys really aren't fulfilling your role as my parents, given that I'm an intuitive. They're like, what? And eventually you're just like, you know what? Never mind. It might be easier if she was ISTJ and he was ESFP. I agree with you there, Winston's mom. Ain't no kind of crazy like ESFP woman.
That's what I'm talking. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ain't no kind of crazy like an ESFP woman. ESFP dudes are crazy, but
they are.
But ESFP chick special kind of crazy.
I think ENFP guys are a special kind of crazy.
Rachel's dad is such a bundle of emotions.
Yeah.
I do not let me misstate anything. I have immense respect for the guy and appreciation for the guy. He really loves the shit out of Rachel, and so I value him highly because of that. And yet he is prickly. Boy, he's a prickly one.
Yeah, like we were on a phone call yesterday and I had it on speakerphone and Eric said Merry Christmas and my dad was like, it's not until a couple of days, and I knew that my dad was like, so he didn't want the Merry Christmas.
Yeah, so let me explain the misinterpretation, because what he interpreted that to mean was I was trying to get out of the way my Christmas duties or something, right? Of course, this did not occur to me at all. The only reason I say Merry Christmas to people is because I'm trying to, I like to establish that I'm not one of those happy holidays people, right? Well, we do have FI in common, but it's not, we don't have it as the same kind of a value. I have it as an absolute value in the 7th slot, you know? Everybody has it in common, I guess. Or you're talking to Anton Munter. Oh, you're an INFP. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, at least you have some FI in common. That's true. I bet it was not so bad then, because they must have valued your feelings a lot. You know? That makes a lot more sense, Evelyn. I realized that when I started to respond. I was like, Eric, you're not interpreting this correctly. So anyway, what was I talking about before?
My dad.
Oh, your dad, right.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
So I said Merry Christmas because I don't want to be one of those happy holidays people. It's like, you have your holiday. You can say to me, you know, Happy Hanukkah, or if you want, or you can say to me, you know, Tip Top Tet. But, or you can say to me, Happy Kwanzaa or whatever. But I'm going to say to you, Merry Christmas, because that's my holiday, right? So it's like, I don't like happy holidays because it's sort of, nobody gets to have their own holiday anymore. Everybody has to respect everybody else's holiday. Well, it's not my holiday. You respect your own holiday. You know?
Yeah.
My holiday is Christmas.
So,
but anyway, so I say Merry Christmas, thinking that this is kind of shit, not really thinking that, but that's my thinking behind why I say Merry Christmas at all. Otherwise, I wouldn't say anything, probably.
It was more like,
here's how her dad interpreted it, and I had no clue that he was interpreting it like this. He was interpreting it like, I'm this is it for my Christmas duties. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to see you on Christmas. We're not going to talk to you on Christmas or something. It's like, what? I'm not thinking about what's going to talk to her dad or not on Christmas.
Yeah.
Those things are not even going through my head at all.
And I knew right away. I'm like, he is totally thinking that we're just getting our Christmas duties out of the way right now, and I'm not going to call him on Christmas. Like,
right. Whereas I did not mean that at all.
Yeah.
Did not mean that one bit.
He's a bucket full of feelings, my dad.
And I was confused because I interpreted it until Rachel explained that he was maybe annoyed because I had sort of interrupted the conversation. When the thing is, I had come into the room from doing something out there. I don't remember what I was doing. And so I sort of said Merry Christmas to announce that I was now here in the room in the call, which she was on speakerphone.
Yeah.
To let him know that, hey, I'm here now. But, and when he didn't, I could sort of read him like he was irritated, but I didn't understand at all why. I assumed it was, I guess he didn't want me interrupting. Maybe it's you should have told me you were on speakerphone, kind of a thing. I wasn't sure what was going on there. So
that is probably most likely it.
What, the speakerphone thing?
Yeah.
That he was irritated about speakerphone?
Yeah, like he's prickly. My dad's prickly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so regardless, he is very prickly. But
yeah, but it's all because of that high FI.
Well, I think it's also learned. He spent a lot of time with your mom, who's shall we say, a forceful personality.
Yeah.
And he probably had his boundaries trampled all over all the time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, when his mom says, Eric, tell everyone about your father's odd sense of SI and how he manages his memories. Well, one of the weird things he does, this is a very SI tool function thing, is that this thing about the commercials, right? It's like there are these insurance commercials where they have football players, famous football players. One of them has Aaron Rodgers, and it has a dog that he throws like a football to, and it brings it back or something. And then another one has a football player and their wife in the video, and in the commercial. And he comes to me one day and he informs me with great amazement that the dog in the commercial is not actually Aaron Rodgers' dog, but rather an actor dog. Like, to me, this doesn't seem that surprising, right? It seems like I wouldn't expect it to be his actual dog in the commercial. And then with the wife thing, he informs me the other day as we're watching one of these commercials during a football game. I guess that's his actual wife. Why do you guess that? Why do you guess that that's his actual wife? I mean, I didn't bother asking him because I know the answer is because I have SI tool function, because I'm experiencing this man and what is apparently his wife in front of me. So I guess that must be his actual wife.
Yeah, I want to ask my mom, like, when you see a celebrity couple in a commercial, do you believe that
that's their actual wife? I mean, I think the weird thing is I've thought about this a little bit. It seems to me this is a fairly unique phenomenon with football players or sports people, where they might have a commercial where the sports person is purportedly with their wife. But I don't think that there's any other scenario except for a sports celebrity in which this particular issue comes up that I can think of. So maybe just limited to like sports spokespeople or other spokespeople who are famous for something other than being actors.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe like Jared from Subway.
Well, I find my mom believes a lot of those like hype people, if you know what I mean. So like, so if Teal Swan, for instance, was on Oprah, my mom would believe Teal Swan solely based on the fact that she's on the show with Oprah.
Well, you know, Oprah wouldn't have had her on if she weren't. If she weren't right, that's sort of a deferring to expertise of a given forum leader, I guess.
Totally.
But the other thing is, my dad can speak more intelligently than just about anybody about just about anything.
Yep.
Like, I mean, anything related to like history and politics and war and stuff like that. Anyway, you know, like you mentioned something about, you know, I could totally imagine the following thing happening. This has not actually happened, but comparable things have happened. So me telling my dad about how everybody hated my hat video, right? Like, oh, I made this video making fun of this hat. It turned out to be this like special Albanian hat called a pliss, and everybody got all super offended. And he'd say, well, you know, the pliss was actually originated in blah 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 blah. I mean, I shit you not. Wouldn't you expect that to happen if I were to talk? This is not. I've not brought it up with my dad at all. We'll try it out and see if what he says in response to it. I mentioned the Albania thing. He'll probably segue into some sort of, well, you know, Albania, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, he knows a lot.
He knows a lot about a lot of shit. And he's not just bullshitting ever either. He's like, he knows his shit.
He really does.
So, and the other thing is how he makes his, but of course, it comes with NI polar too. So, the basic principle of NI polar is something like this. Well, you know, Hertz is the best rental car company. We've been going with them for years. And that makes them the best rental car company because or we should shop at I'm a premium club member there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They know me. Okay. Right. Well, you know what? Something I just realized the other day when I was driving back from the Cobb estate with Rachel is when I racially am Albanian, I'm super sensitive about hats.
Mm-hmm.
It's a racial thing, I guess.
We talked about it.
Yeah, we did. I hadn't even thought about that prior to the other day, but yeah, every time my race turns to Albanian, I become incredibly sensitive about my hat. So I guess it makes sense now that I think about it. Can types embrace their fourth function to the point of almost mastering it? My brother's an ESTP, and sometimes, but rarely, he can come across as an NI dom. Well, see, that's the thing, Anton Munter, is when we talk about those sort of things, we should refer to it as agent, subject, object. What you're saying is that sometimes, as a subject, your brother displays high quality NI. That's the only way in which you necessarily are going to observe it, right? So, and so that's an important part of the analysis process here. That's what makes what I'm saying here about this agent, subject, object thing. Now that it's sort of come together in my head and how it links to instrumentality a bit, kind of the key the key component. It's because every time we talk about cognitive functions, we should draw that distinction, which is to say, when person X displays NI, well, what are you saying there? You're perceiving that person as having produced an NI object of analysis by being a subject. And you are the agent who's observing it. Right? You're the agent who's converted this observation into an object of analysis. So that's kind of what agents do. I think that if Evelyn were to think about this, she'd figure it out. She'd have a table where she had it all figured out. Evelyn, are you still there? Evelyn, will you just finish figuring it out for me, please? I keep trying to bait you to finish figuring it out for me. I trust you to finish figuring it out. Won't you finish figuring it out for me, please? Do all the legwork, the TI legwork, and go absolute agent slot, yeah. If you're still here. What type is Rachel's mom? She is an ESTJ of ESTJs.
She wrote the book, Women.
Yeah, well, the thing about INFJs and ESTJs, I was really struck. I knew before I read it. Somebody the other day said, and I said, "Oh, I'm going to read this out loud," and Rachel's going to just chomp on this like bloody fish, like a shark on bloody fish in the water, which was having an ISFJ sister means always being treated like you're not the well-adjusted one.
Yes.
And Rachel, when I read it out loud, Rachel was like, "Oh my God, that's it right there. That's my life."
Yeah.
I was like,
so dead on.
So, of course, that's the case when you've got an ESTJ mother in the mix. Whoever said that probably also had a similar kind of, probably also had an ESTJ parent, because that's where it's going to most definitely seem like that. The ESTJ parent is going to prioritize all this SI shit, which is the absolute value of one of the kids, and be blind to the ontological value of the other kid. It's a nightmare. Poor Rachel. I'm so sorry, my darling.
Oh, thanks, babe. It's all worth it. It's all training camp for this right now.
That was you, RC. Well, interesting. Hi. Hi, Rennie Fox. Bye, Rennie Fox.
Hi, Rennie Fox. Bye, Rennie Fox. I want to... So, my childhood wasn't terrible because, I was always very loving, and I had younger siblings. So I made sure, I had a very loving Grandma Lapalosa, and, my dad's side, and my dad was very loving. So, I, took on that role of being kind of, counselor to, my brother and my sister. My sister and my brother, really, because, my sister is older than my brother. Yeah. It was growing up, once I became 16, we started to clash, my mom and I, because, I don't know, I guess for some reason,
I know why. Because you had very specific expectations for your Sweet 16 party, and she didn't meet them.
That's funny. I didn't want one because, I wanted something else. I just didn't want one.
You wanted a quinceañera.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "But Rachel, you're 16.
Yeah.
And you're like, "I don't care. I want a quinceañera.
Right.
I always wanted one."
Exactly. 15 was a better year for me.
There you go.
I had a good. It wasn't bad. Cause I'm a good person.
That's why they don't call her Sitting Fox, everybody. That's why they don't call her Sitting Fox. Okay? Rachel Levels, did you find it when someone said, I was going to tell you that you told them what they were planning to tell you?
I usually knew.
But didn't say it.
Yeah. I would never say
That
it.
would make way more sense. I wouldn't expect Rachel to say, you're going to say no.
Oh no.
I think probably one thing that she likes about me is it's not very necessarily easy to anticipate what I'm going to say. Try to be surprising.
You are.
Kenton Davy, hello.
And you're also very funny.
Thanks, darling.
You're welcome.
Those two things kind of go hand in hand. I
They
think.
do.
Kenton Davy, you really sound like a jazz pianist.
Ooh.
Your name makes me think of a
Jazz pianist.
My name's Kenton Davy. I'm here to play the keys for you tonight. They're all like free jazzy. You are a jazz pianist? Really? Wow. I wonder if maybe I've actually heard of you before. Maybe that's why you sound like the name of a jazz pianist.
If that's real, I like that guess. That was very intuitive.
Can you explain this difference between the INFJ and INTJ FE and TE approaches? Right. Well, you think your NI understanding of things might be helpful. You interviewed me a couple months ago? You interviewed me? Really? I have no recollection of this. Oh, well, that's nice. I assume you're talking about exciting tables and words. Boy, my memory must be bad. Really. Seems like the only thing I remember really are arguments, position statements and stuff. First time this happened, my mother said to me, I need to tell you, I said, my great grandmother died last night. She dropped her clothespins. I wonder if I overheard the phone call.
You didn't. It was probably your intuition.
Right. Yeah, that's your intuition. I never trust. I can think of instances where I trusted those kind of instincts, but they're very far and few between.
Like, sometimes people want me to be surprised by what they're saying. So I'm not going to be the one to ruin that surprise for them, you know? Like, that's why I keep my mouth shut. I don't like to, like, rain on people's parades.
Right. Well, the other thing is, let's say they're not trying to say something nice to you, though. Let's say they're being critical in some fashion. You still know what they're going to say.
Yeah.
Then if you choose to respond to it in an INTJ fashion and say, you're going to tell me this, the other person is going to feel as though you're being oppositional or adversarial. So Rachel's probably trying to avoid those conflicts, or feels as though it's a morass she'd like to not wade any deeper into than she has to and just get out of it as quickly as possible, especially if it's this sort of consistent frame of harassment, which it was. So, yeah, it's FE data. It's not using FE data. It's just, yeah, I guess it is.
It is. That's a good way of putting it.
It's just why INTJs are so defensive. You know how they'll respond. Well, I think INTJs are so defensive because you don't know how they'll respond. So, for example, did you just shock yourself?
Yeah, I did.
I saw you doing that. I thought, oh, Rachel, I couldn't say something fast enough. That's the physical plane outspeeding the metaphysical plane. I saw it about to happen. Yeah, don't put your fingers down.
I know, you're right. You're right.
It's an easy CE heuristic, okay?
I've been shocking people and
You just shocked yourself.
yeah, I did.
Maybe it's not surprising because it's the consequence of their beliefs, aka core axioms, and their unique experience. In that case, you might want to show them this boring because it could be replaced with anyone with the same beliefs. I mean, only certain kinds of TI wants empirically researched facts. For instance, I want clean argumentation. Oppression is bad. I agree. I agree, Raphael.
I agree as well. Freshness.
You were walking on thin ice last time. I hope you come here with a defter approach this time. We need an NTP round table.
Should send those chestnuts to my grandma.
We should eat them, I think. We should roast them over an open fire.
All right, let's do it.
Let's talk to my dad about the possibility of him, actually having a log in the fireplace today. I'm going to talk to him about this.
Yeah,
This is my plan of
I don't really like chestnuts, but I'll definitely.
Have you had them before?
Yeah, they're like very
Do they taste like chest?
like they're comparable to like walnuts.
Oh, I like walnuts.
Okay, so then you'll probably like chestnuts. They're woody to me, honestly. They remind me of like the wood that they came from, the trees that they came from. I don't know. They're very. I'm not a huge fan.
Okay. Well, you don't have to eat them. I just like the idea of roasting them over an open fire.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm
about that.
Going to. Because I have to. Now, like that's so. I feel like it's so Christmassy to do that. Like I don't want to miss out. Like just like if there was frozen hot chocolate inside, I'd be drinking that too.
Ken Davey, nobody's disputing the primacy of pistachios. Okay.
Pistachios are amazing.
Nobody's disputing the primacy of pistachios. That's you're just. I mean, that's obvious. Okay. I'm just saying walnuts aren't bad.
No, walnuts are. I like candied walnuts.
I want to candy your walnut. Sounds like a good euphemism for some sort of sex act. Candy my walnut. She candied my walnut. I think we know what a walnut is in that euphemism. The roasted, salted ones. Kayla Cunningham, your name and icon and KD's name and icon are so similar. I've never had that happen to me. That's it. I just think, okay, I don't want anything to do with you, I guess. Sometimes the conversation is boring because you know what the other person is going to tell you because they replace their thinking with a pre-structured set of axioms which they apply on everything. That's what you meant. I see. So you were trying to insult and devalue my approach to being communicatively robust. If you had to desert island with 3 other types, which would you choose? Well, Rachel would be there, so that's INFJ.
Okay, I'm so glad I beat it.
I'd bring Delilah, that's ESTP. I mean, I guess I'd have to bring my dad too, because he'd probably rather be with us on the desert island than be all alone here, you know.
Imagine you'd be feeling so lonely.
So I'd have to bring an ESTP. Not that I feel like I do a great. I mean, he does a pretty good job of not being lonely by himself.
Yeah, but
He's got a lot of friends he talks to and stuff.
he does, but like I feel like ESTJ commitment to family is so big. Like you feel like not included. Like, you know, like I feel like it's like such an. I find my mom to be very attached to family and tradition and the name and like doing stuff for family. Yeah.
No people you know on this desert island question. Okay. I'm not allowed any people I know. I'm still going to include. Oh, it's a desert island. Shit. I have to factor in the utility of the people on this desert island, I guess, because I mean, how long do I have to stay on the desert island for?
Is there gonna be a person who can like make a boat?
Like, if I got to stay on the desert island for 2 weeks, I'm going to prioritize like ESTJ, ESTP, and ESFP, because they're going to be the most helpful. I'll just be able to basically sit back and let them do all the shit. But if it's the rest of my life, I guess like, how many resources are there on the desert island? Like, am I going to be able to make it pretty comfortable if I have people who are good at making shit comfortable, or are we just fucked? It's like there's just coconuts forever and it's it.
Oh no!
And we're just gonna die in like a year anyway. If it's the latter scenario, if we're just gonna die in a year anyway, and we're all fucked, then I would like to have people I want around me. You know, INFJ, probably INTP, and definitely don't want any FI in the mix. So let's go ENFJ, maybe. They keep positive spirits up, you know?
Yeah.
Our experience doesn't matter, guys. Come on.
They would be able to, I think, tough it out too.
Yeah, they'd be better at the TE than anybody else, probably.
Yeah, that's true too.
So, you know, if I were going to be put down on an island that had a lot of resources, well, because how sad are they going to be the whole time?
They're going to demand stuff from you, that you do stuff. They're going to be the more selfish.
Well, the point is, regardless of that, you have resources to survive, but the mobilization of resources. I mean, if there's a lot of resources, then I could possibly like make it all Robinson Crusoe-y, then I'd probably want to include an ESTP and an ESTJ, and then somebody to keep. No, I didn't ban email anthrax. I just yelled at him. he wasn't doing anything close to being banned. Raphael, I don't even know what you're trying to say. You do agree that it is boring if you already know what the other person tells you already because they apply the same frame on everything. Don't try looking at the actual thing itself. I mean, no, Raphael, I don't agree with that. I don't agree that I don't try looking at the actual thing itself. I do acknowledge that there are NI holistic truths, and I incorporate that into my understanding. That's why I still say that typing is still as much art as science, you know? Yeah, I banned Cloud. I mean, on YouTube, I can hide the person from channel, which means that nothing they do shows up. Valeria or Ron had a dream last night where we were talking with me about cognitive functions. Yeah, I ban people. I'm starting to ban them more readily. I'm working towards a quicker ban finger, you know. It's overall good. I can't ban him in Discord because I'm not a mod there. So I just muted him and silenced him, like, so that I can't see or hear anything he says.
All I know is that you're very fair, and if he was blocked or whatever, banned, I'm sure you had a very good reason for it.
Remember, Katie, I'm not censoring anybody. I'm not preventing anybody from expressing their opinions. I'm telling them I don't want you to do what you're doing here. You're welcome to go start your own YouTube channel where you do nothing but express your opinions. I'm not trying to limit your ability to express your opinions. I'm trying to be I'm trying to provide an appropriate amount of caregiving to the environment. No, he's just busy or something. I don't know. I haven't seen him. I didn't block Grass either. I mean, look, I don't like to ban people. It's not something that I'm happy to do. And I do it when I think somebody is determined to be spiteful. Well, I mean, Katie, safe spaces are for sissies. Sure. Okay. Well, not really. A proper forum preserves civil discourse at the expense of uncivil discourse. And you may call that censorship. I call that good management. You know, what Winston's mom says is absolutely correct as well. I have to prioritize my own FI considerations and what feels good to me. When my fun meter runs low, I don't want to do this anymore. Well, I mean, Katie, you've never had any problems here. What you may have experienced as censorship in other places has never even, I don't ever remember even ever being slightly concerned about or getting even close to banning you, because you're not completely unreasonable. You aren't determined to show me I'm wrong no matter what I say, such as Raphael is, right? It doesn't matter what I say to Raphael. He's not listening to me. Yeah, I did make a general claim about ESFPs yesterday, that they don't care about meaningful truths. I am saying it is, in fact, the case with ESFPs across the board. That's my claim. I'm not saying it's the case that I don't talk out of my ass because I'm an ENTP. I think plenty of ENTPs talk out of their ass too. But ESFPs are constitutionally incapable of doing anything but. That's my actual claim. Yeah. And all the data and all the logic are on my side regarding that claim. What did I just tell you, Raphael? You've not inaccurately represented my claim. My claim is, in fact, that categorically across the board, ESFPs are constitutionally, ontologically incapable of prioritizing meanings.
Yeah. Even the best of them.
It doesn't mean it never happens that they don't stumble upon something that appears like a good relationship with a meaning to an outside party. That may happen. But it is fundamentally contrary to those things that they do prioritize. That there is a relationship of exclusivity there, of inverse proportionality. Why are you making that face, Raphael? Why don't you respond to what I said? Life Coach says your tarot reading was right. She's moved on. She's made up her mind to leave.
What tarot did you get? I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Does the wheat store sell Christmas candy edibles? Good question. The answer is no. It doesn't. It just sells normal edibles.
I know they worked because this morning my poop.
Smells like weed.
Yeah.
That's a good sign. When your poop smells like weed.
Yeah, and like I felt like the weed digestion coming out of my poops.
I'm getting some new haters. That's good. I know. I just seem to be getting some new haters, huh? I've had oh, then you don't want her around anyway, life quotes. If somebody's easy come, easy go, then you don't want them around. You want somebody who's going to stick around and be reliable. Yeah. New attackers help you to learn to practice defending. Look, that's not what you say. Meaningful truths is a thing every human is capable of. That's an example of how you're not using words well. What I'm saying is they don't prioritize meanings consistent across time as a value. They categorically do not, because to be right-handed is to not be left-handed. It means you consistently, but not always, prioritize using your right hand. So it's true. I can open a doorknob with my left hand. I just never naturally do. Do you understand now, Raphael? Is that clear enough? Is that clear enough? You seem to do better with very concrete physical examples of things, because metaphysics is something you seem antagonistic to. Okay, but you say that, but you don't provide a reason. I provide a reason why it is equivalent, and it is namely a naturally exclusive or proportional or inversely proportional relationship to things, right? That things do have exclusivity, right? That if I open the door with one hand, I'm not opening it with the other. If I'm approaching a question with you, in fact, you said yourself, I'm always approaching it with the same frame of reference, right? That was the claim you made. You're making my point. I'll go back and read it to you. Some examples of how I'm always using the same frame of reference come directly from you. It's boring if you know what the other person tells you already because they apply the same frame on everything. And don't you actually try to look at the thing and don't actually try to look at the thing itself at Eric. You already know because I always do the same thing. I always use the same frame of reference, Raphael. God. Shame on me. See what else you have to say here. But yet again, yesterday, you told us all. Again. Same kind of thing you always tell us. And then you're talking about us for the same reason. Instead of looking at things itself, as always, Eric, you're not looking at the thing itself. You're just doing metaphysics. So thank you for making my point. Thank you for making my point. Raphael, no, what do you have to say about what I say? That's what you don't like to do. You don't like to respond to what I say. You want me to always respond to what you say. So fuck off. You're telling me I never look at the thing itself, right? Aren't you telling me that? Did I have this consistent frame of reference? So you can't have your cake and eat it too, motherfucker. So you agree with me. It's not called conversation. It's called you being an asswipe. You're going to get yourself banned. Okay. I mean, he's dumb enough. Raphael could be C.S. Joseph. Katie, asswipes get their messages deleted. Does that make me a pussy? Maybe, but it makes you an asswipe. Yeah, I know he says I'm ESTP. The thing is, I didn't delete Raphael's messages. I put him on timeout. Timeout inherently deletes the messages. I don't choose to delete the messages. For up to me, he'd just be timed out, and the one message that I caused him to be timed out would be deleted. But I don't have that option. So that's the consequence of pissing me off. The other consequence of pissing me off is making me not want to do this anymore. So have a nice day.